Chapter 1. From Foolish to Dullish. The Glare was born in the pre-COVID era, but the circumstances still remain unknown. What a mystery! At first timid like an orphan baby cat, started to observe in a shy way the surrendering. Not long after that, his luck struck him and he found his adoptive YouTube mama, a glorious empress known as Critical K. Empress K joyfully made him her peasant. And the baby Glarer became extremely ecstatic, especially when his empress bought him his first dick. I meant Mike. So, to prove himself worthy for receiving the precious gift, he started to vastly rant on his channel with his new dick pic. Sorry, I am dyslexic, with his new Mike. And the more he started to play with his mic, his voice, and not only, grew strong and powerful and arrogant, like a balloon thinking is an airplane. So as you can see, the Empress K did a great job, and in a very short time with her unsophisticated peasant, he transformed him into a brave warrior for justice, and even a true criminologist. The irony of one of his statements, not understand the impact of what you are doing, will strike earlier in this story. Just have patience, because good things happen for those who wait.
Let's talk about this YouTube thing for a second, okay? You know, this YouTube thing, it's an open forum, you know, but it's funny because there's like people, there's these people who use this platform, and they use it like it's a dingy bar bathroom stall that they just graffiti all over, that's got a glory hole in it, and it's gross, you know, it's fucking gross, you know what I mean, you know. And then, you know, so basically just imagine what they do is they write my name and they write K's name, you know, and you know, and say this dingy ass, you know, nasty shit, and it's just been, it should be beneath them, you know. I mean, it's beneath me to do that, you know, for the most part. But you know, I gotta be honest, man. Like, I don't want to be involved in your bullshit YouTube drama. I don't want any fucking thing to do with it, you know. Like, you got problems with K and you got problems with me, and you have problems with me because I back K up. Let me explain to you something about me and K. Me and K, I love working with her. She loves working with me. We got a good thing going, and I'm really happy about it, and I want to keep it going. But make no mistake, we don't agree on necessarily everything. But I will always, and I've stated this before, and it's like you don't fucking hear it, I back her up on everything that she says, simply because she has every right to not only feel that way.
In my mind, I thought that everything related to the Glare content was based on thinking, and not on feeling. And all his statements are based on logic. But maybe this is just a slip-up. Let's continue. Shall we?
But to express it freely, to use this forum openly, the same way you idiots use it to just spew out bullshit that nobody gives a shit about. There's nothing worthwhile listening to what you're saying. There's nothing worth listening to when I log on to it. Somebody, you know, I got eyes everywhere, man, and somebody will always share with me some YouTube video where somebody's mentioning my name, or you know, and it's always and then there's nothing following it. There's no content following it. There's no issues that they're trying to address. There's no there's no stupidity that they're even just you know, joking about. They're not even trying to be funny or anything. And it's and Boston Hippie, no, I'm not going to get into my political views right now. Maybe I will one of these days. One of these days when I'm drinking with Kay, maybe I will. But I'm not indulging in alcohol tonight. Now, I'm not going to go into that now. Me and Kay are actually cooking up something real special together for that little nugget. So I got to tell you, I'm really looking forward to it. For those of you guys that know Kay, when she gets her pistons popping about something, expect something to take off, right? Right. And I'll tell you, she's lit up about this one. So, you know, she's probably going to breed a whole new crop of haters for this one. But, you know, we'll see. You know, we'll see. But we don't care about the haters. We're going to say whatever the fuck we want, whenever the fuck we want. And if you don't like it, don't fucking listen to it, you know? But I think a lot of you are going to like it. So we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna cover that. When Kay and I talk about Jodi Arias, we're gonna go a lot into the pictures that were released, and we all know about those pictures. We saw the autopsy pictures too. We're gonna talk about that, I'm sure, but we are most definitely gonna go into the other stuff. Yeah, the meat curtains thing is just fantastic. That's the funniest shit I've heard in a while. Like I read that and I was laughing hysterically. Yeah, when Kay and I do this, we're gonna go down the list. I mean, we are gonna go deep into Jodi Arias's vagina.
No.
Pun intended. I did you see what I did there? So yes, we're definitely going to be talking about this, and we're going to be talking about it in intimate detail, and we're going to have a lot of opinions on this stuff, and we're going to try to put ourselves in the place of these people and what they were thinking, which I don't think we're going to be able to do, but it's going to be fucking fun to try. So this is definitely going to be a fun case to cover. And some of you guys are sitting here thinking, you know, somebody was murdered and it's not something to laugh at and blah, blah, blah. We're going to get into that too. And we're going to get into why we don't feel the slightest bit of remorse for how we talk about it and how we plan on talking about it. And so what's your response to that you know, you're gonna dox her? You know, your response to that is to lump us up together as this unit that you're against and that you're out to get in silence. Oh, I'm telling you right now, you're not gonna shut me the fuck up. You're not. And I can't really speak for Kay, but I've gotten to know Kay pretty well, and it's
Yummy.
pretty safe to say you're not going to shut her the fuck up either. So I suggest you just let things be the way they are before things get ugly. There's no reason for that, because the minute that somebody becomes in danger, you're going to end up having to deal with the law.
Apparently, the Glarer has the gift of premonition. Maybe in the future we'll collab with Ziggy. That will be a pretty interesting combination.
And it's going to be ugly. And then you're going to be sitting in a jail cell going, holy shit, I didn't realize how real this was until just now. And man, this was really dumb. This was a stupid fucking thing to be in jail for. You know, because you're not really understanding the impact of what you're doing.
People give me nasty comments, but I'm happy because now I got myself a fan club in my mantra. In this part, the Glarer gives us great advices about parenting, because he is the best daddy in the world. He talks about her glorious mantra and how happy he is now. Bit by bit he is transforming himself in Osho. In the same time he discovers StreamYard, hooray! And starts what is called clout chasing, sometimes with Daddy with a phone, other times with John Hinged, and so on.
So, and you know, and I've gotten some negative comments. That's okay. You know, they don't bother me too much. I'd be a liar. I think anybody would be a liar if they said they didn't care what anybody thought of them. I do care what people think of me, or else I wouldn't have this channel and I wouldn't interact with people in chat. If I didn't care what people think of me, then I wouldn't really care much about the people that I'm in chat with. So it's important to me that people have to a certain degree a positive opinion of me. I want you to enjoy this channel. I want you to enjoy interacting with me here, and I like being able to interact with you guys. And I say this stuff all the time. The chat is everything to me. But this case, this is a first for me, because I've when it comes to true crime, I've disagreed with people, and I'm okay with disagreeing with people, and yeah, I'm really not I'm not qualified. I don't do the digging. What's ironic is the person that I'm talking about here, she does the digging. She does a great job doing the digging. And like I said, I want to reiterate, I want to let you know, honestly, I'm not trying to discredit her in any way whatsoever. What you're getting out of her is fact. I'm a defense attorney. If I'm a defense attorney and this stuff gets shown to a jury pool, I'm going to go to the judge and look at the judge and go, can the jury please disregard what they just saw? Because that's completely circumstantial. I mean, okay, so she went to Petco. Okay, she has pets. She went twice. I get it. She went twice. One of those times, it was confirmed that Gannon was in the car. And then there's all this stuff in the chat, and there's all these comments of, well, who leaves their kid in the car? Well, you know, some parents trust their kids at 11 years old to sit in the car. I remember when my son was 11 years old, I would be like, hey, dude, if you're going to wait in the car and listen to music, because he wanted to sit in the car and listen to music, you keep the doors locked, because my kid was smart enough to where I could tell him, hey, keep the doors locked. And if you're in imminent danger, press the horn. You know, like there are ways. There's all this stuff, but nobody wants to look at these things. Everybody wants to go, well, what kind of a woman would leave an 11-year-old child in the car, and just completely just focus on that and that alone, instead of looking at the different side of things, looking at the larger picture. What about, well, you know, okay, well, if there's a kid who's sick and he's sitting in the car and he's 11 years old, and it's probably he doesn't want to move. Hey, I don't feel good. I don't feel like walking around Petco. All right, well, sit in the car. You know, that doesn't necessarily make you neglectful. People leave their kids in the car all the time at 11 years old. Now, if it's an infant, that's a different fucking story, of course. If it's a toddler, that's a different story. 11 years old, though? As far back as I can remember, I waited in the car for my mom. Yeah, Scott, I am thinking about going back to school. I don't know yet. I have not made a decision. What I was kind of daydreaming about was going back to school and getting some sort of law enforcement training on top of it, and it would be cool to start like a private detective firm, uh, and focus on finding like missing people that the cops have given up on finding. You know, just try to throw in a helping hand into situations like that. I feel like that would be pretty awesome. But that's just a daydream for now. I don't know if um, there's other stuff I daydream about, but you know.
5 years later, still daydreaming about finding missing children and cracking cases. Sir, your evolution went in the natural direction. Trauma, gossip, drama, more drama, and flip-flopping.
You know, one of the A's in the glare is accountability. And I think if we start to take accountability and start to focus on how much positivity each one of us as individuals can put out, the world can get better. It really, really can. But we've got to start taking accountability for ourselves, stop blaming other people for shit. And as soon as we start to do that, things are going to get a little bit better. We're going to be able to listen to people a little bit better. Things are going to get better. But you've got to start looking in the mirror, and you've got to start taking inventory of the things that you can do better to make your personal environment better. There's no other way around it. And I promise you it works. I promise. Because I'm doing it right now. And every little thing, even though, I mean, I'm not making a lot of money, but my life is better because I'm happier. And if you want happiness, you gotta try to genuinely want other people around you to be happy. That's absolutely, in my personal opinion, the key. So the world, it doesn't have to be as bad as it is. So that's just my little tidbit there.
Change the world around yourself.
Exactly. That's where it starts. It's exactly where it starts.
You got to do it.
Right now, this is my very peaceful artistic outlet. And I see that there's a lot of what you're talking about. There's a lot of that hatred and a lot of that meanness that goes on, and people find it entertaining and they feed into it. That's not the kind of audience that I want.
I just wanted to have like a Dr. Phil moment with you and make a slight suggestion. Like I'm a woman, and so I think that maybe if you like call your girlfriend and you call her a cunt 6 times, you could totally fix it.
Well, if I can, okay. Are you ready for my answer, Ganania?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know what? You guys take it away. I'm gonna go to the restroom because
he's gonna go.
I thought I was gonna leave for good, but
oh my god,
clearly it's not over.
It gets even better. It gets even better.
After 8.5 hours.
Hey, Ganania, my girlfriend gets off on me calling her a fucking cunt. Actually, she gets off on me putting my hand around her throat while I'm fucking her and calling her a cunt.
Wow.
What do you say about that?
Well, for me, I don't kink shame. So there's that.
Right.
So,
Okay.
if that's your thing and it's, you guys have your special,
Okay, that's
safe
weird.
word
I heard
and shit
that,
like
but I'll be right back.
Yeah. No kink shaming on my part. Do you, whatever works. But I'm just.
Yeah. So what was your point of coming up here?
All right, so she's gone, dude. And
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
She's a fucking dumb cunt. She's a dumb, judgmental cunt who wants to say, "I'm not kink shaming." Yeah, well,
I want this to be a place where people just have a nice time. I was watching your live, the last live that you did, I think on John Hinged, not John Crimes, but John Hinged, and you were, and you were just chilling, and it was funny. I was cracking up the whole time. I was having a good time. It was very positive.
Yeah,
I was participating in the chat, and I couldn't even count how many laughing, crying emojis that I was putting out, and those were real because I was crying, laughing. I mean, who the fuck makes a "Give Me a Break" reference? Nobody.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like that caught me off guard, and that was very cool to me. That's the kind of thing that I prefer to do. That's the kind of people, and that's the kind of energy that I want to actually put out and attract. Now, realizing that I inserted myself in the drama community and not truly understanding what it was, I feel like I caught that quick enough to where I was able to kind of pull myself out more. So if you notice, I have not really been involved in the drama community almost at all in the last week or two.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, and I actually agree with everything you're saying, which is why I'm not exactly, I was sitting here doing my own thing, and then D-Wop got in my chat, and I was just like, wow, holy shit, D-Wop. And then I brought him on, and it just naturally happened, and we had a good dynamic. And then, I showed up in his chat last night, and then I ended up talking with him. Look at that little dude. Is that a girl or a boy?
Girl.
But
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
After speaking with my son, things got into perspective. Like I said, I was real angry last night about a lot of things, and I was I was all fired up to get on here, and oh well, man, these people this and those people that, and and when I have that opportunity to apply the principles that help me make decisions, rationality came into play. Rationality came into play. Logic came into play. And I don't want to come on here and behave irrationally. I don't want to come on here and start pointing fingers at people and start yelling at people and start saying this and that. And I'm damn sure not going to come on here and have an I told you so attitude. I'm not going to do that either, because that's not what this is about. This is, I see an opportunity right now for us as a community, because I did a live when this thing first started. And I think, I entitled it "Let's Keep It Nice." That is the one where D-Wop showed up into my chat and then joined my panel here. And I'm going to stick to that. I think we should just keep things nice. We are a community. We're not all perfect. We all make mistakes. People. This whole thing. I was angry for Shane at first, because he was just dragged through the mud by people who were so who just for some reason did not separate a past case that is completely irrelevant to this one, and that they allowed that to affect their feelings about the people involved in this one. And last night, Dad at the phone, he said it best when he was saying, we have to keep in mind that there are real people involved. There are real people involved. Regardless of whether their lives are going to be affected by the things that you say about making decisions how we use this platform. Very, very important. And he's it saddens me to imagine being. I have been in his position. I have been a single father, and I've always been a blue collar guy, and I've always worked to support myself and do my best to do my family right. Do right by my family, and so I have an overwhelming feeling of empathy for this man right now, and I also have an overwhelming feeling of empathy for his children, and I know that they don't have a lot of money, and normally I am extremely against victims' families when they have a GoFundMe or a PayPal or something. When I can't see it being anything other than just capitalizing on sympathy. I in my eyes, when you are a family member of one of these victims and you don't have even remotely a decent reason to put yourself out there and put your hand out there and ask for money, and you're trying to capitalize off of the sensationalism of the case that your family was involved in, then I no longer see you as a victim. Automatically, that goes away from me. Maybe that's a flaw. I don't know. But I'm just being honest with you about how my mind works. And I think that is, oh, hey, Molly Go Lightly. Wow. She's in our chat. How we doing? So right now, I as soon as families start to do that, families of victims, and I'm not going to go into that too deep, I no longer see them as victims. So I don't worry about that sort of thing, and I actually kind of get disgusted by it, if I'm being completely honest. But I believe this situation is very, very, very different. I believe that this situation is, the circumstances call for us as a community and call for us as just good, decent people right at the holidays, right at the start of the holidays, to make sure that to do what we can to make sure that these kids have the best possible Christmases. Now, obviously, baby Margot, she's too young to really, she's not going to remember any of this. This probably won't traumatize her too much. Hopefully not, anyway. But she will definitely, her life is drastically altered. And she deserves a good chance.
Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Trying to forget my feelings. Kay's apprentice is showing his growing personality, and day by day his tendencies show an anal expulsive personality. And as any anal expulsive, the apprentice shows all the signs. He is messy in all that he plans to do. His high self-confidence can touch the sky. There's no such thing as being organized. Empathy is a concept that lacks entirely. He has outbursts that are happening only because is raining outside. And enough with Freud.
He was proving to be a liar. But the thing is we don't know the truth. We didn't know the truth. It's not fair to jump to conclusions and publicly crucify somebody who could very well be a victim. That is irresponsible. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I know I'm not wrong in saying that. So, if you want to take that as an attack, hey, I can't, I don't have any control over how you take that, and if we don't search for answers, then we have no reason to have this crime community. We would just be mainstream and wait till court's over. Honesty. Dude, if this community wants to be taken seriously by the outside world, right? Then we have to be more responsible with the way that we present things. That's what I'm saying. Otherwise we're just tabloid crap. We're lower than tabloid. We're shit on tabloid shoes. You know what I'm saying? That's not and that's not searching for answers. When you're sitting there and you're creating a narrative that someone is abusive when there's no proof that they are, which paints the picture that they are responsible for murder of their own family, that's irresponsible. That's not searching for answers. That's creating a narrative and influencing people's decisions on how they view things. That's those are two very, very different things. So that's all I'm saying, man. And if somebody wants to take that as an attack, I'm not even going to get into, I'm I'm not even going to get into the interactions that I had with people after that. I mean, that's just, I'm not trying to do that. There's no reason to do that. All I'm saying is I felt strongly about something and I spoke up about it, and I'm not taking it back, and I'm not going to apologize for it because I understand, and I'm explaining to you the reasons why. Okay, hold on. Let me address this real quick. Master of my fate. The Rucheks are victims, but you said fuck them and other foul things. Can you explain the difference? The difference is, and I know that the argument is going to be, oh, well, he put up that Shane put up a PayPal account or whatever for help, but his family was missing. When your family's missing and you don't have any money, it makes sense to try to raise funds for resources to try to find them. There's a big fucking difference. There's a huge difference. Now, what the Rucheks did, and I stand by this because I said it before and I said it then, and I'll probably piss a lot of people off by saying this, but what the Rucheks did was they tried to capitalize on the fact that Shanann was a murder victim. And they tried to capitalize on their on the sympathy from the public for that, you know, with their Thrive accounts and using Shanann's name and creating the Shine Like Shanann campaign to capitalize financially. Yeah, I think that's gross. And so I say, fuck the Rucheks when it comes to that. I don't see them as victims anymore. I see them as opportunists. There's a big, big difference between how the Rucheks handled this situation and how Shane Carey handled this situation and how Heidi's parents handled this situation. There is a huge, massive difference. And if you don't see that, that's on you. But that is a fact. When I see the Rucheks selling Shanann's clothes, saying shine like Shanann, and I mean, come on, dude, that shit was gross. That was fucking gross. Frankie Ruchek did everything that he could to fucking capitalize on the death of his sister. I mean, come on, you don't go on Molly Golightly's channel knowing that it's a drama channel, and start going back and forth and going to war with people on a drama channel. That's not what you do when you're a grieving brother. Now, I understand that there are things that grief can affect people's behavior, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, come on, man. This was already months later. This was already months later, man. The way that these people behaved and the way that the Watts family behaved, the way that Cindy Watts behaved was fucking sickening too. So I'm not taking a side. I'm saying that the Watts case was a fucking shit show. Everybody acted fucking crazy. Even I acted fucking crazy. I'm not proud of the way that I behaved during that shit. I'm not proud of it. You know, I insulted people. I did fucked up shit, you know, but I learned a lot from it. I learned that's not the kind of guy that I want to be. That's not the path that I want to go down. Most definitely. You're Maine girl. The Glare, I like you, but don't you think it's fair to agree that everyone has the right to grieve how they see fit? We're all different. Yes, I did say that. I said that's, you know, I get that. But grieving is one thing, but going around and trying to financially capitalize, and still to this day, like a year and a half later, still to this day, you're capitalizing financially off of the name of your sister who's a murder victim. Come on, man. That's not grieving. That's not grieving. You know, if it was grieving, then I'd agree with you. But this is not the behavior of somebody who's grieving, is my point.
The end of chapter 1 is here. Misery comes in the picture, and suddenly Misery is his friend because they talked few times on streams. More clout chasing is happening at suggestion of Glaire's advisor and Empress Critical K, as we all know she had a soft spot for Misery. Stay tuned because this is just the beginning.
You know, you could sit up here and you can talk about anything at all. And it's not going to matter to me what you're talking about. But if somebody is trying to shut you down because they don't agree with what you say and how you say it, and somebody is trying to take away your right to express that, I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to have your back. Whether I agree with what you're saying or not, I'm going to have your back. As a fellow member of this community and as a YouTube friend. I like my YouTube friends a lot. You know, I've been talking about them for the past couple of lives. So you're just not gonna sway me some other way by sending me fucking these videos of dragging these creators and exposing them for who they really are. I mean, that's some fucking bullshit. What is that fucking ominous fucking Alfred Hitchcock bullshit? Come on, man. You don't know the real Misery. I mean, oh, really, Misery? I mean, he'll say something and then it's like they end up, there's some fucking weird douchey narrating voice in the background that's like, oh, really, Misery? And it's, come on, man. Like, I'm supposed to take that shit seriously? I'm supposed to take that shit seriously? That some dude with a fucking phone that's sitting there making these fucking videos and editing them down just to trash somebody and makes it look like, they are exposed to the entire YouTube world.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!